Welcome to the Bad Movie Night podcast, covering the worst movies you've never seen. We hope you enjoy listening to Bad Movie Night podcast.
Everybody, welcome back to the Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Bad Movie Night podcast. My name is Chris, and tonight we are talking about the 2014 action movie Drive Hard.
2. So you're a pretty good thief. I'm an excellent one.
This is the only time Aaron's ever used that.
Aaron's
that
right now.
That's because you borrowed it 6 years ago, and you're like, I think this belongs to you.
Is it technically borrowing if someone just brings over stuff and leaves it at your house? I never asked for it.
I don't remember, dude. It was a long time ago.
I never asked for it. If you don't ask for it, I feel like it's not borrowing.
Like, you mean when you stole my headphones?
That was stealing. And I am currently using them right now.
I know, I bought another pair.
But that's different than borrowing. Anyways, guys, we're back. We're talking about Drive Hard, which is a movie that we wanted to talk about for a long time, starring one John Cusack and
Thomas Jane.
American Christopher Lambert. Yes.
American Christopher Lambert. But Viv and Rebecca are out, and so we got one man who could encompass both of them, and that is, of course, Stefan.
Hola.
Welcome to the show.
Always a pleasure.
Have you been here since the bumper, the new intro?
No, I have not.
What'd you think?
Oh.
I like it.
Rate it out of 10.
I'm very attached to the old one, so I'm rating against something that I'm very used to. I give it a 7.9.
If you were driving and you heard that bumper, how hard would you get?
I'd come.
Oh, wow. That's what we want to hear.
All right, fair enough.
Wow.
All right, guys.
Just like your wife.
This movie might be too much, Aaron. This movie feels like it spoke to you on a very personal level. We'll get to it though.
All right. Dressed up
Lindsay,
there.
Lindsay's back.
Dressing up. Yep.
You were gone for the last 2
7
weeks?
months.
3 weeks.
Off and on a lot, yes.
Off on the Gold Coast, Australia.
Yes, we went out to the coast.
Well, welcome back. Are you back for a while now?
I hope so.
Okay, that's what
I
we
hope no other thing befalls my situation where I have to be off
not
for a week.
vacation.
Well, you did miss out on all the Tubi originals.
I did, and
which
some
was-
of the
that was fun.
Lifetime movies.
That was
and
fun.
I missed out on a lot
You
of
might
good
have missed
stuff.
on a couple good ones.
Mhm.
Aaron, where did Spiv go?
Nova Scotia.
So much money.
For what? What is that? What is
Nova
that?
Scotia.
Go
was
for the
on an
Nova
island.
Scotia. It is so difficult to get to Nova Scotia. You have to
not that
drive
difficult.
up into Canada and
You can
around.
fly there too.
Well,
What do you do in Nova Scotia?
All sorts of stuff.
Oh, it's beautiful.
The
It's
things
like
the
the
Nova
it's the
Scotians
Canadian
do.
Scotland,
It is
basically.
beautiful.
You know,
No, I don't know. That's why I'm asking. Is
Dude,
this
it's
just a
be-
rich
it's
person
beautiful.
place? Okay.
They do a lot of movie making and
Yeah.
baby making, maybe too, in Nova Scotia, because there's probably not much else to do. But I think the Canadian government tends to give a lot of money towards films to film there.
I think
Okay.
we sent a bunch of planes there to land during 9/11 or something like that.
Yeah, that makes
On Nova Scotia.
Where else you gonna send them?
You'll be safe
Jersey?
as fuck. Go over
Be
there.
safe in Nova Scotia.
Right? There's
Go
nothing
crash
there.
in a different country.
Nobody expects
you know?
Nova Scotia.
I just watched some boy band documentary about the guy who
Oh,
made
yeah,
NSYNC
Lou
and Backstreet Boys.
Pearlman.
With,
Yeah.
you
And
can
you
get
learn a
that?
the day after 9/11 happened, he was able to get a plane of one of his boy bands down to Florida by calling George Bush.
Yeah.
High places. Friends in high places.
But then he went to jail for like a Ponzi scheme, and now he's
Yep.
dead.
Well, that tracks. Yeah.
Wild ride.
Better to burn out than fade away, Aaron.
Yep. He was a Def Leppard for sure.
One arm.
Def Leppard burned out and faded away? I thought it was a Kurt Cobain thing.
What? It's a
went up
lyric
in
in a
smoke.
Def Leppard song,
Oh, is it really?
but I think it's long precedes that by a lot.
Can you just put your hand up to the,
The noise his
microphone and
gloves make.
do the leather sound for us?
Just like the movie. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, that's some ASMR shit.
That drives hard.
It drives a little too hard.
With women's medium gloves, slowly killing the circulation in my hands.
I don't
For this
kink
fucking
shame.
bit.
All right, let's get into Drive Hard. AJ, can you tell me what the 2014 smash hit Drive Hard is about?
Thomas Jane is a washed-up race car driver.
I'm a washed-up race car driver.
John Cusack is a world-renowned thief.
I don't know how to drive. You're gonna have to teach me.
Put them in a car, and what do you get?
You're a hostage now, motherfucker.
Well, not a very good movie, apparently. The 2014 race car classic, that is Drive Hard.
You shot me in the balls. My balls.
That was great. Aaron,
Hamster fetus.
Aaron, you could play both the characters in this movie
That's what I'm basically
at
doing.
one time. I could see it.
I think so.
That was great, AJ.
You're welcome.
And back to me.
Oh, wait, I got one more thing I want to read.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Here we go. I quote. Here's a quote. Chris Rupert kicks in a dramatic series of twists that go galloping into Alex Garland's level of smart, spectacular darkness. My skin is still crawling hours after viewing Transient.
That's just the lice.
Film threat right there. Look at that.
That's
There you
good,
go,
right?
folks.
Good
That is
review.
that is a good line. I mean, you got compared to Alex Garland.
I know.
Yeah.
Guy must have been drunk.
They forgot the Alex Garden's Christmas tree decorations or something. Nah, man, that was a great review of a
That's
really cool
cool.
movie.
It is a great review. If only people would go and rent the movie.
Yeah. Where could they do that, Chris?
Pretty much anywhere, as long as you search for Transient.
There you go.
Pretty much everywhere. Apple, Google, Amazon, Voodoo, Hoopla, whatever that is.
Now you're just making shit up.
Hoopla.
I think that's
Hoopla.
libraries. I think it's
Hoop-
available
Hoopla?
for free on the library system. So
That's cool.
yeah. All right.
Hoopla.
Time to move on and get up. I don't even want to do this. Look at him.
He's so excited.
All right, here we go. We're gonna get in Aaron's history hole. He's gonna talk about some stuff. So here we go.
That's right. Drive hard. You know what else is hard, Chris?
Always
I don't
do.
want to know.
Reading this fucking screen with polarized sunglasses.
Okay.
All right. This movie. I feel like the package guy from.
Did
like,
you do cocaine before this?
Right?
Oh no, this is
Oh,
this is
man.
how my brain works. This movie was released in October of 2014, Chris, and had a budget of about $6 million to approximately $12 million. Can't really tell, you know, it's all estimates. It was filmed in Australia, and we're gonna get into why in a little bit. Some other movies from that month of October 2014 that you may remember are Annabelle,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
little doll thing.
Yeah.
Gone Girl.
Okay.
Yes, there you go.
I just hit the back button on my mouse and my fucking gloves are too tight to hit click. Fuck. Hold on. All right. Left Behind, which we covered a few short months
Oh,
ago.
man, Left
Nicolas
Behind.
Cage's Jesus masterpiece.
That was the Nicolas Cage version came out then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We have Dracula Untold.
Never saw it.
Is that the Thomas Jane one? Or no, he was Frankenstein.
He was Frankenstein.
No.
He was
That's-
Frankenstein?
No, the
Yes.
Two-Face guy was Frankenstein.
That
No,
is
Sean Everett or Sean.
That's
This is
Thomas
Dominic
Jane is
Cooper.
that
Is
guy.
Two-Face.
No, Thomas
Charles
Jane's not
Dance.
Two-Face.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not, you guys.
Yeah.
Two-Face for what? Batman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not
No,
Thomas
it's
Jane,
that.
that's,
It's that
In
other
the
guy.
Nolan ones, isn't he?
Aaron
No.
Eckhart.
Aaron
Eckhart.
Oh, they're the same
The fucking
person.
same.
They're
They're the same person.
Aaron Eckhart was also Frankenstein in I
That's-
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
Oh, that's
Okay, well,
That's
they're the
right.
same person as we've already stated.
They are.
Have you ever seen them at the same time?
True.
True. considering they look nothing alike.
There's some
look
tax.
No, they
Exactly the
definitely
same.
look very similar.
We got Birdman, another weird ass movie.
Oh, I love Birdman.
Fury, Nightcrawler. I love that movie.
Oh yeah.
Fucking weird movie. And we have John Wick.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
God damn, it's really hard to click.
Man,
with
that's
these
long.
fucking gloves
2014. Wow.
on. Yeah. So this movie had some interesting production, as AJ recommended. We check out the Wikipedia for this. Basically, it was written as a vehicle of sorts for Jean-Claude Van Damme, who decided to drop out on this masterpiece. So the script was rewritten, and they had a small window of availability for John Cusack. They actually had 18 days to film this movie, so they filmed it in 18 days. So if they could quickly get this 18-day rewrite shot in Australia, they could use him.
Well, who was John? Is that who Jean-Claude Van Damme was supposed to play?
They don't say, you
I
know?
guess that makes sense.
He
It'd be
wouldn't have been a
weird
talking
seeing him
part.
as like the
Oh,
guy
yeah.
with the glasses and the rubber
I'm
I'm
bullet.
sure the
guys.
story was very different.
Yeah.
He didn't have a
Exactly.
gun then. He kicked.
They
Right.
drastically changed the tone and the characters.
It was called Kick Hard.
Kick Hard.
They changed it to Drive Hard.
It was
Yes.
called Coke
Instead of
Hard,
kicking, it's cars. Yeah. There's a bunch of things like the Van Damme version wouldn't have had it all. So instead, they get Thomas Jane and they get fucking John Cusack. I don't even understand why you pick him as a bad guy.
He's
a bad
done
guy?
these kind of roles before, though.
Yeah.
Like the
No.
fast-talking, quirky hitman
Yeah, he
kind
was,
of roles.
Yeah,
Point
that makes sense.
Blank,
What's that movie called?
Identity,
Yeah,
stuff
Gross
like
Point Blank is great.
Wait, oh,
There's a
fuck.
But he hasn't-
300ZX in Gross Point Blank, Aaron. There's a
But he
300ZX
hasn't
for
done it
like
for a
2
while,
seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this was filmed on the Gold Coast of Australia. Was not a very well received movie by most reviewers. Most critics were not a fan. It was directed by Brian Trenchard Smith. Do you know him from anything?
Yeah, Leprechaun in space. or
That's
something.
right, Leprechaun
Leprechaun is-
series. He did the original Turkey Shoot
Okay.
in 1982.
With what's his
he did the
face?
remake in the late 90s.
Okay.
He did Dead End Drive-In, Day of the
Oh.
Panther,
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Danger Freaks, The Siege of Firebase Gloria. Yeah, 5 episodes of Silk Stockings.
Silk Stockings. That's
yeah.
a podcast we're going to start at some point.
Yeah, Night of the
Silk-
Demons
Silk
2.
podcasting.
Did a bunch of TV movies too. Voyage of Terror, Megiddo, The Omega Code 2.
That's
Oh, watch that
that's
one.
how we
That
found
was
this
so
movie, right?
good.
Yes,
That was such a good movie. Underrated on the channel.
0.9 on IMDb.
That movie was fun. If
It
I
had a lot of
recall.
money. It was ridiculous.
So his most recent film credit for director was Drive Hard 2014. This guy's been around for a long time. He's been active doing stuff since 1946 is when he was born. So holy shit.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, not a young man by any means.
What's he doing now? Dying.
He's probably driving while
He's either
hard.
dying or being a president. I don't know.
He's like, I took the wrong blue pill and got in the car. Oh well.
In the age bracket.
So our writers for this were 3: Chad Law, Evan Law, and Brigitte Jean Allen.
Alan.
Yeah. Yeah, they're known for writing things like Shrapnel, Lights Out, The Get Back, Section 8. I don't know any of these things. Black Water.
Wait, I know those whole last 3. Those are actually okay.
Are they?
Yeah, Blackwater. Wasn't that like a real movie?
I vaguely remember that one.
Maybe I'm wrong.
There's a couple movies. Called
There's actually, I think I have 3 Blackwater movies, but I would assume based on the credits,
You can guess which one it is. right?
if it's not.
Were
the
you trying to
Crown one.
like procure a specific one and just bought all of them, hoping to get the right
I,
one?
I
What
buy
was the
everything.
plan?
Wasn't there one like there was like an apartment and it had like
Yeah, that's
water
the
in
one
it
I'm
or
thinking of
something?
too.
You know what
Oh,
I'm talking
okay.
about?
You're talking about Dark Water.
Dark Water. Is that
Who's in
Jennifer
that?
Connelly or something?
Yeah, I think it's Jennifer
Yeah.
Connelly. Yeah, that was okay.
Yeah, and the water's so dark.
It's
Isn't
so
it based on
dark.
that or whatever?
Yeah, it's like an Asian movie.
Yeah, it was
originally,
right
right?
off the Ring kind of
Yeah.
of those types of
Yeah.
movies. Yeah.
Oh, they wrote
The
What does
Cell.
this have
like
to do with
remakes.
John Cusack?
They wrote Cell, which was a John Cusack based on a Stephen King book, and it's
Oh, that is
terrible movie.
Terrible.
Terrible movie. Fun story, terrible movie. So that's basically the most important people. Obviously, other than John Cusack and Thomas Jane, we have some random Australians. We have Carol Burns, who plays Killer Granny.
That's great.
She's fucking amazing. That's about it for this movie that I got. AJ, was there some other things you wanted to talk about because you were driving hard about this
Oh,
movie?
no, not too much. I mean, you kind of tapped on it about it being made in like 18 days and kind of bending everything to John Cusack so he could be in the movie, which is really funny.
Why did he want it in Australia so bad?
I think he was like living there at the
He was
time
just
or
there.
something, like
He was just
vacationing
there
or
and didn't
It's a
something.
wanna leave.
vacation.
He just has to roll out of bed and show up. I don't know.
I'm
But,
here for it.
Yeah, you hit a lot of good points.
I mean,
Alright.
the
It's supposed
reviews
to
for
be
this
like-
were all over the place too. People either loved it or
yeah.
hated it.
It's supposed to also be like homage of like the classic race car movies with like the pair together when you think of like Midnight Run or like Bullet, that kind of stuff. You know,
But we're gonna get into that because there's
Yeah.
some obvious differences. And off that,
Vanishing
Chris,
Point, so good,
Vanishing Point's fucking
so
amazing.
good.
I'm done being hard and driving.
All right, time for the transition into the Patreon bumper, which
Getting
we didn't
naked
make
over
yet.
there.
So let's just make this up. Here we
I'm gonna
go.
drive soft.
The last one was good. You did.
Patreon. Join the Patreon. Patreon.
Give us your money.
Join the Patreon.
For $2 a month,
Join the Patreon.
you get nothing in return.
Join the Patreon. Patreon.
Join the Patreon.
Patreon.
You might get
Join the Patreon. Patreon.com.
You might get added to Slack.
Movie Night Show.
you might get added to Slack.
You
might get
probably
nothing.
won't. You
probably will.
You probably won't.
I mean, he's on a Patreon.
I rarely
he's
ever check it.
Patreon. They're Patreon members. Why aren't you a Patreon member for just $2 a month?
Aaron, the
You
music
make
ended.
Chris
The
rich.
bumper is over, sir.
Sir.
The bumper is ended.
Well, fuck me.
For just
All right.
$2 a month.
$2 a month.
Yeah, I mean, sure, why not?
All right.
Let's go. Let's do this.
I guess we'll
I'll
get
get the
into
gloves
Aaron
ready.
here. Wait, AJ's usually here.
I know
AJ,
you moved around.
all
man.
right.
Yeah.
AJ, what did you think of Drive Hard?
I was really excited going to the Drive Hard. You saw the trailer, high intensity. I thought this was going to be action packed all the way, race car stunts, cars blowing up, doing flips and stuff, and it wasn't really that. It started out pretty strong, and in classic fashion, as the movie progressed, we got less and less great race car action scenes to the point where it just kind of became a little pathetic. But it was a bad movie. They didn't even bother to light anything in this at all. I mean, it felt like they just filmed this stuff on the fly. And, I mean, John Cusack and Thomas Jane showing up for a paycheck, whatever. I'm here for it. The dialogue's horrible. The writing's terrible. But I was entertained for most of the movie.
Okay. Aaron, what did you think?
I was going to put a lot of thought into my spiel here about this movie, but then I decided to just do what they did for this movie and wing it completely. The entire dialogue between Cusack and Thomas Jane feels like improv.
It does.
Like, it's just you guys get sit in the car and say some stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's fucking funny because it's just so bad and ridiculous. But it's like they gave them one take and they're like, good enough, move on to the next thing. You definitely felt like this was rushed with the shooting, and knowing that it's 18 days of filming, that kind of makes sense. Yeah, the pacing's kind of weird. The overall story, I still don't know why, like what was Cusack's mission other than getting money, but it was some other purpose besides stealing money.
Revenge on that one guy.
Yeah,
'cause he
but for
did
what?
Something in prison. I don't know.
I mean, he goes on this weird rant to the guy about the guy's wife. It's just so fucking odd. You got the granny thing, so you get this like bit of British Australian humor mixed in at times. That's zany and weird, but it's not throughout the whole film. I just feels like there's something here, but it's like they just needed to shoot it a little bit more, right? Like, do another take for God's sakes, or write some actual dialogue. But I enjoyed it. I wasn't bored. It kept me entertained, and I guess I just like John Cusack and Thomas Jane being totally weird guys. It was a really weird role for Thomas Jane too.
Yeah.
Lindsay.
It's fair.
I mean, I didn't have a lot of like expectations for this movie. The first
good.
act really bored me. I was really bored because I'm like, nothing's happening.
Yeah.
I don't care about these characters. The action sucks. The editing made me want to throw up a couple times because it was just so all over the place. You couldn't get a sense of like what was actually happening. But the scene that turned it around for me was the winery, the vineyard.
Really? That was amazing.
Well, because something actually fucking happened, and it was weird and crazy and funny and zany, and I'm like, okay, I can deal with it. I can do this. And they did that kind of energy like a few more times throughout the film.
Like convenience store thing?
The convenience store was another moment that I absolutely loved. And their banter got better as the movie. I'm wondering if they shot this sequentially because they seemed a lot more
like comfortable with each other or in the characters.
Able to as the movie went along. And that stuff I really liked, but man, the action just really sucked in this. Like, do we really need another 30-mile-per-hour car chase? Do we?
Yeah, with motorcycle guys riding next to you doing nothing.
That's so bad.
Yeah, I was just like, this sucks. I know they're trying their best and trying to make it look exciting, but it just makes it worse.
They should have
all
sped
the
the footage
quick
up.
cuts and like, for some reason, let's put the close up of a gun in the middle of this car. It was bad. It was bad.
I like
it had
AJ's
some enjoyable things, but it was bad.
Speed the footage up. That'd be awesome.
Stefan, what'd you think?
So I think the issue is they just didn't have it a lot of the time, and that's why there's like random shot of this and that because I didn't know they filmed in 18 days, but I could certainly tell you that like the budget went to their 2 actors and nowhere else, and nothing could be damaged, nothing was used. The only set that I think was made for it was that gas station scene. So like things like that make your movie where it's like this could have been a fun, good movie if you use no-name people, but by using those names, which is also the only reason we saw this. I bought this movie in 2015. I've seen it before.
Of course you have.
And it's because they're in it. But that is why it's also not good. I think that they could have been completely competent. It feels too good to be a bad movie almost. Like it looks too good to be a bad movie, but it's clearly a bad movie. But because of their own doing. You know? It was all decision-based problems.
I think I'd go the exact opposite and say, even if you used no-name actors and used that budget, it's still a shitty script.
Yeah.
Sure, but how much of that got tailored because they had to cram it in quick? They had to use an actor who like, well, I'm not going to touch that. No, I don't get out of the car. Like, I think getting those names was the sword in your back and also the only reason you have a movie.
Yeah, because Cusack's exposition is dumped like in 30 seconds of him just shouting it quickly at Thomas Jane while they're driving.
Their bank robbery is just turning a dial and walking out of a bank.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that
not
scene.
Show the inside of the bank.
Can we spend 20 minutes talking about that scene?
We will, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a scene. It's just shots.
I think for me, one, I enjoyed the movie, but I think what worked for me was Thomas Jane and John Cusack.
Yeah.
Really?
And I liked them sitting in the car talking. That was the only stuff that I enjoyed.
Best part, right? Them being handball idiots.
But do you think their chemistry was good?
At first, I thought it was fucking weird, and then it somehow worked.
Yep.
It also makes sense to be weird at first because he is being kidnapped.
True, that's true.
And
but Thomas Jane plays like an idiot. So
Thomas Jane is bad.
Yeah, he feels like just an idiot.
Yeah, he's kind of a buffoon a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that though.
Yeah, but he's like a guy who's not playing a guy who is.
Well, this is the thing.
Very much like that.
They're trying to do the buddy comedy thing a bit with that. I think
they were.
They paint his character really weird because he wakes up from a weird dream. Then he's like lifting weights. Then he's like in a nice house, and his daughter loves him, but his wife is uninterested in him. Then he goes to his business where like a girl is like obsessively loving him and like into him, and it makes it seem like he's some cool guy. Yeah. And then somebody throws keys at him and he can't catch him, and he's like, "Ow, why'd you throw that?" Like it's just all over the place of what I'm supposed to think about this guy.
Yeah.
He's not a man's man jockey guy that you would anticipate this like.
But he's a race car driver,
right?
But the thing is,
those guys are like super
so
intense.
manly.
No hand-eye coordination because he's just a fucking high-speed racer.
He's like Kurt Russell, man. Like that's what he's supposed to be.
From Big Trouble,
like Big Trouble type. Yeah.
But no, see, his wife emasculated him, and he has to go through
there.
this entire process to get his dick back. And then at the end, he gets laid finally.
He does live in a mansion, though, as Chris pointed out. He has like a glorious, like picturesque backyard, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go teach people how to drive."
They almost lost that though, because wasn't there like that call on the phone when he drops off the daughter, and he's like, "Oh, I don't really have the money right now because of plumbing issues." Or was that about the house?
I thought that was his daughter's school. I thought they were like, "Well, I guess she could go to public school." I thought they were kicking her out of private school. But
so there is some money issues, I think, too.
Oh no, they're addressing that they have money issues, but it's also like showing somebody living above their means having money issues. Like, well, sell that fucking house, idiot! Like, what are you doing?
Lots of people do this.
It's interesting the driving instructor character. It brings me back to Speed 2 Cruise Control. Like they're on the driver's test kind of thing. I would have liked to have seen more setup with his character to where you could, like, I don't know, empathize with him or just like connect with him. Because like you said, tonally, it's so weird. Like it's all over the place.
It would have been cool if they like showed him with a bunch of beginners that are idiots and crashing into stuff.
And have those funny
moments. He's like, fuck this one day. And this guy's like kidnaps him and he's like, okay, I'm just going to do this because I hate my life.
Yeah.
And I need money. Like change his character.
Like there might have been a change to the script, or the writers don't know what driving school is, because he's like they're taking notes as if he's giving people their license. And John Cusack even says, "I need my driver's license in Australia," but he's a driving school. He doesn't.
But he's going to be there for 10 days. What do you need a license for?
But again, he's not even applying for a license. He's taking driving lessons to be there for 10 days. You take driving lessons for like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't get it. It's badly written.
No, it's and maybe that's part of the changing. And there are definitely just script issues. Like one conversation directly to the next conversation, he says, "My wife had the Hun and tried to whatever," and then the next one he's like, "Oh, you were married?" He's like, "I fucking just told you that. That was the last conversation we had."
That's true.
That's because it was purely improvised.
There is times where people be out. It's like the Office shots are a great example. Like they're out on the street having a conversation, and then like a quick in between shot. Next thing, they're like upstairs in his office continuing the conversation. Like the editing's all over the place because there's grabbing stuff in places.
They have like coverage or anything. There's nothing. There's no establishing. The establishing shots are stock footage, but
they had some coverage, Lindsay. And the coverage was of John Cusack vaping in various different vape
Jesus, man.
He needed something to do when he's riding passenger. He was like,
that was just
passenger
John
princess
Cusack.
over
He's
there.
like, I'm gonna. You got 18 days, and I'm gonna have my vape.
Was that
That's
weed?
The deal. Probably
I
not.
hope so.
Probably not.
He was actually an early adopter of fentanyl.
No, he was way too amped up.
Explain his dress and appearance.
I don't see like the Gone in 60 Seconds and stuff like that. Those action scenes in those kinds of movies, they're fine. But always when it cuts back to the guy in the car, like and it's intense driving.
Yeah,
I don't know. That stuff.
I just love when they've shift like 9 times.
Kind of. But I do.
Like it's not a big rig. What the fuck are you doing?
But I do like.
They're doing 70 miles an hour. Like,
well, yeah. I like to see the actual cars in long takes driving and doing cool shit.
And doing cool things and like, jumping off ramps and stuff.
Part of that is you have to have that great cinematography, though.
You also
need the good lighting on the cars.
You also need like 8 versions of the car so you can do these things.
Right. Right.
If you're stealing multiple millions of dollars and it all hinges on this driver who doesn't know he's going to be your driver, isn't it weird to have him be using his fucking driving school car? Like most drivers that are professional drivers are good because they're in professional race cars. Yeah. This guy's whole fucking thing was, I can back up into this spot. No one's
and he's outrunning the police in that thing.
80 horsepower.
And they're going 30 miles an hour.
Well, that's the problem.
It's Australia.
That is funny, though.
It's so
but they didn't play that up enough, though.
Like,
they didn't play that up enough.
And like the police car wrecks are like really low budget. Like he crashes into like a 4-prong tent, and like.
Well, that's what it is. They couldn't damage anything. Everything's like rented prop stuff, so like nothing felt real.
Yeah. They did blow up a motorcycle.
Oh yeah. That they blow up some CG motorcycle.
I mean, okay, so this movie does go into it's a more of an adventure tone where the stakes and the murder and stuff like that is played up in a fun way. Like it's all a caper, and like in reality, like if this guy got in your car and just robbed a place, like it'd be terrifying. But this is all played up for fun. The dialogue's all fun. And that's the stuff that I enjoyed until like there's a moment, and we'll go through the plot of this movie, but there's a moment where an innocent guy who owns a little grocery gas station outlet place ends up blowing his own brains out in like gratuitous gore.
But that was funny as shit to me.
But it was so dark compared to the rest of the stuff.
Of the movie, yeah.
And
that's
then
very true.
Later, there's like a showdown between the police and other
dark.
police, but who's also corrupt. And there's just a shootout, and everybody gets killed in violent fashion. And it was also very dark, and it just that tone shift came out of nowhere for me.
The tones in this movie are all over the place with characters and like. Some of the filming is awful.
But like the Van Damme character would have been like had some connection to the female police officer or something. There would have been more of like a dramatic.
But there's movies that do that mix that more comedic elements with brutal violence, and they do it well. And this just spectacularly fails at it.
Nothing's lit in this movie other than John Cusack, as you can see the huge reflection in his glasses the whole time. Like this huge white in his
That's
sunglasses.
just his personality.
The entire movie. It's just like...
But there's scenes where they're behind the car. It doesn't look CG. It doesn't look green screen.
No.
It's all projection background.
Yeah. Is it projection? Okay.
Yeah. I think it's all happening live, but none of it's driving.
There's one point where it like zooms out and you can see the pulling vehicle, like the back of
really?
of the rig that's pulling them, or that they're just shooting from. You can see it. Yeah.
So I wonder if they're getting towed. Yeah.
That would make sense because then you could have a light in front of you the whole time.
But that didn't really take away from anything for me.
No,
like this was a low budget thing. I didn't have.
I mean, if it's low budget and they got these two actors, they should have hammed it up more. Yeah, just go all silly.
Well, and I feel like they started to throughout the movie. Like that part got better. The relationship, the characters, like we talked about. I think a little better writing and a little more time that could have gotten better. The rest still would have been shit. The story doesn't make a lot of sense, and like the editing's bad, and
I think they did go for it in the comedy and stuff. Like, there's this scene where, like, John Cusack's like, you got to call the FBI so they know you're a hostage. Mm-hmm. And Thomas Jane is like, you cannot do this with a straight face. And it was funny.
It's true.
I think the main problem is that, like, there's no real motivation for Thomas Jane.
Mm-hmm.
John Cusack, I'm still, after watching the movie, unsure what exactly his deal was of why he did all this.
From what I could gather is he was in prison at the same time as that other dude. I don't know if they were in prison for the same reason or whatever, but that other guy like tried to turn him out in prison or something like that.
I thought he went to prison and they turned on him. Like he robbed them. They didn't pay him and they framed him and he went to jail for it.
He went to jail for the stealing of that big diamond.
Yeah. So he decided to fuck him over.
See, I think like
you don't even know. We just got 10 different answers first.
And they're all correct. I don't know.
They're all
correct.
I think if Nicolas Cage would have been in this movie, it all would have made sense.
It would have been Drive Angry then, right?
I don't know. I never saw Drive Angry.
That's one we should watch. That's fun.
What they're ripping.
Oh, that's the Nicolas Cage one.
Mm-hmm.
With
that's a way over.
Wait, what's the Rock one?
There's a Rock one.
There's a Rock one that's Drive something too.
There's one with Ethan Hawke or something as well.
Why are there so
There's a lot of Drive.
We should just do a bunch of Drive movies.
Yeah, I'm game. I love cars. With the Rock?
Yeah, there's one with the Rock where he's like a snitch, or is framed to be a snitch.
I don't think the Rock can even fit in a car.
The Rock is in the Fast and the Furious.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Faster, it's called. Never mind, it's not Drive. I lied.
Faster.
But then every time Thomas Jane would speak, I'm like, why does Christopher Lambert sound like someone else?
He did kind of look like Christopher Lambert.
He looked exactly like him.
He's the American Christopher Lambert.
Especially with the hair that way.
It's weird casting for him.
Who's the guy from Sideways and Spider-Man as Sandman? That's who he looks like to me.
Thomas Hayden Church?
Yes, yeah.
He does look like him.
Thomas Hayden Church.
With the longer hair.
Yeah, with the longer hair.
If Thomas Hayden Church fucked Thomas Jane, who fucked
Aaron Eckhart,
what would happen?
It'd be this guy.
You get Tom Cruise.
I think.
You get Tom Cruise. Cruise now.
When the movie opened,
that's why he's so little.
And they had the intro credits, the music sounded like my music, Aaron.
Yeah,
I
thought that in the credits. I was like, "This is Chris rocking out."
It looked like a spoof of Fast and the Furious.
It did. I was like, "Oh, they want you to know that this movie This
Movie
fucking
drives
kick
hard.
ass.
I don't know. It left me with wanting to watch Vanishing Point, though.
Well,
That's a great movie.
let's
though.
dive into the story.
There's not much plot there,
a
though,
little
AJ.
bit.
Like that's a really
Yeah.
thin.
All right.
But man, it's good.
So the movie opens with Thomas Jane playing, what's his name? Peter, something like that. Peter.
Peter
fucking know.
Parker.
We know
Driver.
he was a race car driver, I guess from his dream, because he dreams of like winning,
Yeah.
and I think that was
He had a
supposedly in the
dream.
past. But he wakes up, he's in his house, even though it's very nice. He has a young daughter and a wife, and he owns a driving school in Australia.
Peter Roberts.
And they're both awful to him. They're both awful.
Look,
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't
as a
wrong.
middle-aged dad, sometimes you feel unappreciated.
Yeah.
Were they off
it's
to
hitting
him? I
those
didn't think
notes.
they were that
They were
awful.
Awful.
awful
At
to
times
him.
they were shitty to
He's
him.
like, he like tries to give his daughter an orange. She's like, I already have one, and then gives it back. And then he's like, what about some coffee? And his wife is like, it's too late. You know, they were just kind of being
Yeah, that's
dicks
true.
to him. And then when the daughter gets in the car with the mom,
Sounds like real
she's
life.
like,
I
Dad
don't know.
robbed a bank. Dad robbed a bank. I'm like, you're a little. Shut up, you little bitch.
Wow.
Need to put some restraint on this child. Here, get at this child in line.
I'm gonna say that tomorrow.
So he goes. He goes to his driving school. He's hit on by like one of his students who's clearly in love with him.
kind of this.
Who
He's a
who
secretarial
later does
person,
that
right?
interview saying like she's
secretarial
having an
person.
affair essentially with
He
him.
was like
That
all
was
about him.
crazy. That was crazy.
Weird little things like that.
That was a weird like artifact from a script that it
Yeah.
came back up and made sense, but in this version, it did not make any sense. He then proceeds to have his first client, which is John Cusack, who
He's got driving gloves on and everything. Like, what?
He's got driving gloves,
Is this
sunglasses
just like-
on, and he's vaping the whole time.
Is this just John Cusack walking around with like
Yeah,
his
for sure.
pajamas set up, kind
Yeah.
of like?
He's
I
the
don't
worst of the
know.
son, actually. This is just his outfit.
I mean, that makes sense. I feel like that's what he would walk around if he didn't want people to
He
recognize
looks
him,
like
right?
he's dressed like have you ever seen Hollow Man? When
Yeah,
he
yeah,
makes
yeah.
the fake thing and puts the
He's
sunglasses. That's what he
invisible.
looks like.
He looks
in this
Kevin
movie.
Bacon.
He's Kevin Bacon invisible.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
That actually is pretty accurate.
Yeah,
That's
my-
what it is
that's
exactly
green
what he looks like.
I could have totally pulled
Exactly
that off.
what he looks like.
But his driving was, he's like going through one of those turnaround things, which they have all those. It's Stefan. What the
Roundabout.
fuck? I was in New
Roundabout.
Jersey
Roundabouts.
like 2
Roundabouts.
weekends
Yeah,
ago,
Harrisburg,
and there's like
everywhere.
30 million of those.
we have
fucking-
them
they're
everywhere
great.
because
Here, too.
they're way cheaper than putting in lights. So
They're
lights are
more
like
expensive.
50 grand or
There
something.
was,
and
there was a
roundabouts cost way more.
2-lane roundabout. It was the most
Yes.
confusing fucking thing I've ever
They're great.
experienced
Yeah.
And
in
it
my life.
keeps traffic flowing.
Yeah,
too.
People
It's
that
brilliant.
live here also
Great.
fuck it up. I'm constantly laying on the horn
Oh.
like, you fucking
The
idiot.
worst is when they go the wrong direction, which really does happen.
People here are
Stop-
freaking out
they
because we're
stop
putting
Indy.
one in locally and they don't
They're
know
great.
how they work.
I love them.
Somebody
Plus, you can
beeped
go-
at me because I was
you can
like,
go really
but
fast.
whatever.
Go really fast
I
around
like
them. It's a
them.
lot
You
of
can
fun.
pick up
brilliant.
speed by keep going around.
Slingshot out. Yeah.
Do you have any favorite car moments in this movie?
No, there wasn't really many good ones.
Yeah,
was
that's
there?
what I'm saying.
No. There are two fantastic car moments. In
All
this
right, let's
movie.
hear it.
One, they're like, fuck, this car's broken down. All right, we'll find another one. Then they find like the same fucking car.
Yeah.
Just
What the
by
fuck-
happenstance.
Was that just your backup? Like,
The
that's like,
Falcon. Ford
so
Falcon. Or
stupid.
what was it?
Thank God the grandfather owner of this winery drives a classic
Why were they at
United
the
States
winery?
muscle car.
that was just where John Cusack was staying for the weekend. And like, come here, and
That's
they're
where
like,
he gets-
yeah, sure, you've drank all the wine, and they just filmed that there.
I
So
bet
the
there
best
was
thing
a
is that
scene.
motorcycle
Yeah.
bit.
Oh yeah, the motorcycle bit too.
Where they
But I bet-
like the best of the best. Get them over there. 1 fucking second later, the cops that are 2 miles behind them haven't caught them yet. But the people that are like, we need you to get there, they get there instantly.
On
And they're like,
motorcycles,
okay,
no
we are
less.
the best of the best. Well, what could we do? Well, we could curse at him. I could put my foot out slightly at his car. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to shoot him. And then it's like, okay, the best of the best. He fucking puts his toe down on the gas and he loses him in 1 fucking second. And then what do? They park. And they don't go right to the car. They go, we'll get a drink too. And they
They don't
happen upon him. They don't see that fucking specific ass car. Are you out of your mind?
That's great.
And then like a gun gets pulled, and they I'm like, are they leaving? And then for a moment, I'm like, did I just read too much into that? Was this coincidental? Were the bike people not the best of the best?
You need some driving gloves. You're like channeling your inner John Cusack right now.
You're right, though.
I was freaking out because this movie's very forgettable, so I didn't remember a goddamn thing about it. And when that happened, I wrote my notes. I go, oh, it was a coincidence. He was on the phone, and we just happened to see the bikers, and he must have pissed them off somehow, so the bikers attacked. And then when I realized that it actually is the best of the best, I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And then when they leave, I'm like, they're leaving? And he's like, nah, got your fucking money in the briefcase. I'm like, oh, okay. Their mission was only to get the briefcase, not to kill this guy, which would have been fucking easy as shit because every fucking one of them had a gun.
I mean, they did shoot him in the balls with rubber bullets, which is pretty amazing.
They shot himself in the wait. Who shot who in the balls?
Wait, didn't Cusack shot the other guy in the balls?
Oh, did he?
The big bad guy.
The big bad guy. Yes.
But that's
well, he did shoot him with
rubber.
Yeah, he shot him with rubber bullets too.
That was the part of the movie I was really losing interest. Honestly,
the grandma fight. We got to talk about that then.
That was the best part of the movie.
It was the best part of the movie.
I mean, that is what happens. John Cusack makes him stop, and he robs a bank. We don't really know he robs a bank because he just opens up a safe.
And people are screaming.
It's
in like someone's closet.
You literally see a tight shot of him opening a safe, and then all of a sudden a ringing noise, and he comes out of the bank.
And there's literally like a shot of a floor of some people walking across, and then like a single bullet dropping in like a dark room, and that's all the context you get of a bank robbery scene.
It's barely an alarm.
A regular safe. It's like
it's like a gun.
It wasn't even a scene.
Yeah.
Do they even show the outside of the bank? I don't.
They only show that like common area. You don't ever see a sign.
The lobby.
No.
You see the lobby.
It's probably not even a bank. Like, why even show any of that? Because it's so awful.
You should just show
the commercial part
Thomas
where the hotel
Jane
was.
sitting there, like with his thumb up his ass, and all of a sudden he hears an alarm off, and like, what the fuck's going on? Then all of a sudden, John Cusack jumps in and he's got the money and says, "Go!" And he's like, "Did you just rob a fucking bank?" You didn't have to show that other shit.
That's what someone who thought about it would have done.
Why didn't you just get out of the car right away? He sees the guy come running out of the bank, shooting at people. Like, get the fuck out of the car. And
Are Australian cops even gun happy like that? Do they even have guns?
I thought they were more like
strict,
bank
right?
bank.
Well, especially like handguns.
No, but later on, he comes out like, "Oh, I don't know what's happening. I've been kidnapped." And like, bang, bang, bang. He's like, "Oh my god."
That's a good point. I don't know.
Those were funny when he's jumping and they're shooting at his feet. They do that through the whole movie.
UK, they don't, do they?
I think only America where we openly shoot people that are asking for help.
Yeah, that's an American thing. Of course.
I thought they really didn't have that many guns in Australia.
No,
they don't.
No,
they did the whole big buyback thing.
I think it's a farmer rifle thing. I don't think that it's like, we have
figured it out.
Yeah, they did a huge like buyback thing many years ago to make it attractive people.
They had a huge mass shooting, and they said, we're not doing that anymore. And they got rid of
and then
guns.
everyone's like, of course, and that's just solved.
I think by American standards, it was a tiny mass shooting,
right?
and they ended it immediately.
But the other thing that confused me in this movie, among the myriad things that confused me in this movie, there's like different sets of cops. Okay, so the bank has like enforcers. Yeah. That's the people that come out in the first SUV.
They're like mobsters.
Yeah, they're mob guys.
And then there's the regular cops that are on the take that back off so that the bank people can go after them. But then there's the other two cops that are the lady cop and her partner. Who
the FBI.
They're like the special police. They're like the FBI of the
they're actual police
Aussies.
that are coming after this like fucking, I don't know, with Ponzi scammers or whatever the fuck they are.
Okay.
They're like the FBI of ours. Yeah.
Okay, so with all their training, they never learned how to change a tire.
I don't even understand. Can we just talk about that whole moment for a second? They get
a flat tire and
I feel like if you live in Australia, it's gonna happen.
Like, I feel like there's such long roads to nowhere. You have to know how to do everything.
Yeah, of course you do.
But they just stand around and stare at it like their engine blew up or something. It's like, no, you have a flat tire.
I guess we'll just give up and go home. The bad guy won.
It was so. I'm like, what is keeping them from just changing the fucking tire?
Well, if they're chasing after this guy, why aren't they radioing in more police to go after them?
There's a helicopter that goes, fuck it, we lost him. He's on a road. What do you mean you lost him?
Well,
he's on like wheelie sneakers, like down the road, and they're like too fast.
Couldn't possibly catch him.
Couldn't keep up with
furious.
him. Yeah,
but there's a point in this movie because so he robs the bank and then the police are after him, but it's quickly revealed that there's more to the story with the money, and there is.
What was the point?
I don't remember who he was, what his name was, but the kind of boss guy,
Rossi.
He turns the cops off and engages him with
the local cops.
his gang criminal overlord.
Which is silly because he just hires like some motorcycle gang. Like, really?
But that explains why the cops aren't like all over him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But also, what kind of power do you have to be able to do that?
A lot, man.
He pushes back the entire force in the city on them.
Australia. It's the Gold
There's
Coast.
only
I've never
7
even heard of
police,
this.
and Mel Gibson's long retired.
Yeah, seriously. And then the middle part of the movie is the best part, though, where it's just John Cusack and Lance Riddick. What's this guy? What's
Did you say Lance Henderson?
Aaron. What the
Lance
fuck?
Riddick?
Thomas Jane.
That's it. That's the
What kind
one.
of name is that? Jane Thomas Jane.
I know,
It's a woman
it's
and a man's
trickster.
name combined into one.
It's a trickster.
He was the Punisher.
I know he was good.
He was great as the Punisher.
He was amazing.
That
Yeah.
popsicle scene?
What's that
Oh.
space?
I mean,
what's the
Travolta's
space show
terrible,
he's
but
on
yeah.
that was really great. Expanse. He's great in the
He's great in the
Expanse.
Expanse.
Yeah.
No, I like Thomas Jane. But they just go on like little adventures.
Yeah.
They go to the winery.
Yeah.
And there's crazy old people.
It's basically a date. It's like a dude date.
A real
We'll go to the bed and breakfast.
bro.
We'll go to the
Let's go get some
winery. Maybe
winery,
stop,
yeah.
get some snacks.
Yeah.
Go to the bar, play a little pool.
It's an excuse to hang out and
reminds
drive a
me-
car.
Yeah.
There was a movie that came out. I think it was in the early 2000s or mid 2000s. I think it was called Taxi, and it was Queen Latifah
Yes.
was a
Oh,
taxi
yeah.
driver.
Jimmy Fallon.
Okay.
And Jimmy Fallon was like a cop or something, and she needed
Yeah.
to drive for it. It was kind of that same kind of buddy dynamic
Yeah,
that they were
yeah.
going for.
Makes sense.
That was an awful fucking movie too.
Mm.
Yeah.
It had Jimmy
Oh.
Fallon in it.
Yeah, Jimmy Fallon, Queen Latifah. And like a gaggle of models of the bad guys.
Yeah, Giselle Bundchen was like the bad guy. It was fucking.
What? I don't remember that
I don't
part.
know what a Giselle Bundchen is. I've never
Like
heard
a
of
She
that.
big
was the-
bunch in Giselle's.
The most paid model in the world at one time.
Yeah.
Really?
Brady's ex-wife, Tom Brady's ex-wife.
Yeah, she was supermodel.
I'm gonna go.
I don't know what's so
Is
super
there-
about her, but
It's part of the
Bunchen.
Avengers.
Giselle
Chris is gonna get the wrong thing. I could tell.
Bunkin Munch.
Just Google Jizz Bunkin.
Bundchen.
Oh boy.
All right. I mean, she's pretty.
Is luncheon?
I never saw this person a day in my life.
Really?
Okay. No. When would I see a Giselle Bunchkin?
I don't know.
Maybe alone on the
She's in
internet, which is, like, all
magazines
the
and
time.
billboards and
What?
stuff like that.
What are we laughing about?
Bundchen.
When I
Whatever.
see a bunch.
Who's he bunching?
So, it is revealed at some point
Oh God.
where, God, these people and their fucking names. Not Thomas Jane, the other guy, Francis McDormand. What's his fucking name? John
John
Cusack.
Cusack.
Francis McDormand's a woman.
you-
One.
He's like, who? Reese Witherspoon?
Lance Reddick is a dead now, a black man, Chris. So I'm like really confused by your choices of names.
He's having a moment. He's having a senior moment here.
John Cusack
Cognitive decline is real, people.
You
reveals
should run for president.
he reveals his reasoning,
yeah.
Which was what?
which
was it?
nobody remembers.
No.
something about they
something
did
prison,
shitty,
something. But
something.
we learned that John Cusack, while he is quote unquote the bad guy, he's really not that bad of a person.
No.
He's using rubber
Yeah.
bullets. He has never
Yeah.
murdered anyone. That guy who ends up getting killed in the convenience store is by accident. He kills
Yeah.
himself. So like,
That does help.
Yeah.
So like the likability.
and then we
factor.
also learn like the cops. One of the cops is like corrupt, and so there's a lot more to the. I think we're supposed to not see John Cusack as the villain anymore.
No, not at all.
He's
really
a cool
don't.
guy. He wears sunglasses, Chris.
Cool guy.
God.
He
Did
cool
you
guy.
watch the movie?
He's got gloves on, sunglasses.
He vapes.
He vapes like a chimney.
It's the weirdest look these two actors have in this movie. Is the weirdest look. Both of them. It's just so weird. The choices and like what they're wearing.
And the wonderful
so
The
weird.
insults
mannerisms.
that they
Yeah.
throw back and forth to one another are pretty good.
There's no like makeup team for this. They're like, what's easy?
No.
How about you be shaggy and unkempt? Did you just like cover the fuck up?
No, they just showed up the
Okay.
set, man. It's like, what are you wearing? All right, let's fucking. All right, John.
This is
Cusack,
my
what, you
t-shirt.
just
We
get
can't
out of
get
a
blood on
bender?
this.
All right, let's go.
They're like, "Do you want us to change?" You're like, "Get in the goddamn car." Like,
We have 18
right.
days.
yeah.
We've been shooting. This is
The
in
clock
the
is
movie.
ticking, motherfucker.
We had 19.
Yeah,
We only have
yeah.
18 now. Come on.
I mean, there really isn't that many action scenes though. There's that one at the beginning,
no. Which was like the most action you get in the movie.
and then there's one later, sort of with motorcycles, but not really.
Not really.
That's like a like.
no,
yeah.
that's not an action scene.
I think Cusack's
They're just
probably
driving
spent 2
next to the
full days
car.
just refilling his vape.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta stop and get a new cart.
For a car movie, you'd expect a lot more.
Yeah.
And a lot of times with movies like this, there's a ticking clock. There's expediency. Like they have to get something done in a certain amount of time before the end of the movie. And this one, there's none of that.
Lindsay,
Yeah.
18 days.
That's it.
The ticking clock.
It's gonna come out of the TV.
That's the ticking clock, yes.
Yeah.
They end up at like the pier at the end of the film.
Yeah.
So many great stills.
It all
of
goes down in the
Cusack
docks.
just hamming it up. Sorry.
The ending's weird.
The ending's weird.
Like
So-
Cusack doesn't pay. Like it doesn't really feel like it pays off in any way.
No.
It's
How he
very
finishes it. Like you don't expect.
anticlimactic.
You almost think he's gonna push him in the water because he's like tied up to chains. He's like, oh, this'll show you. Oh, and he's like, got you.
Yeah, Cusack ends up getting his nemesis guy tied up in chains at the water. Yeah, and I wasn't sure what was going to happen there.
He yells, "Shut up, you little bitch," and then shoots him with a rubber bullet in the crotch.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You'll never have kids," and then just disappears.
So, I mean, if he would have killed him though, it would have painted his character
Too much for his
poorly.
character. Yeah.
Did
So I
they
get-
even have evidence against him though? I feel like the 2 cops that were leading this case are dead.
They're dead.
yeah.
Right shot in
But,
the
like-
fucking head. Yeah.
How it ends where they're like, oh, we're offering him jobs and oh, he's a hero. I'd be like, I think he'd be wanted
And-
for murder.
And how
You
did
would think.
Thomas Jane get cleared by the end of this movie? Because he's
'cause he got
definitely
sponsorship.
a conspirator.
He's handcuffed
He's
to the
Handcuffed,
car.
and they
Yeah.
punched him.
Punched it
He
in
got
the
punched in the face. You see.
That
and he
was
laughed about it afterwards. We got to make it look real.
fair.
It was so weird.
Oh, it's just more things to kink.
I love how they're disposing
Love
cell
it.
phones every scene too.
Fucking
Just-
him.
That,
Cusack
that
had
was
like
very
20
funny,
cell
actually.
That was
Had
funny.
there ever been a pan out
So
where you
many
saw he
phones.
had like a clip of phones? Like
that would have
would've
been
great.
awesome. Look at his code.
I mean,
And he even said
same
that
with the
there's more where
bullets.
that came from. Like
Yeah.
they played into it. It was great.
He had
throw this-
unlimited
oh,
rubber
yes.
bullets too.
He seemingly had unlimited bullets in general.
Yeah.
I like
So
the
that-
rubber bullet, like shooting Thomas Jane a few times. That was funny.
pretty
I
funny.
can't feel my ass did make me chuckle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that scene was good.
Him crawling
think.
around in the convenience store while the guy's shooting a shotgun at him and him narrowly escaping every time somehow.
Yeah.
While like going in
Epic
circles
plot
around.
armor.
Like what?
With bare ass shelves.
With bare ass
So,
shelves.
so
Yeah.
what are we supposed to learn from this? What is
Don't
Thomas
shoot a movie in
Jane's
18
We're supposed
days.
to-
character?
If John Cusack
That's what
hops in
we're
the
supposed
car,
to do.
get the fuck out.
You're gonna hurt your head trying to figure that
Hey,
out.
John Cusack always tells the truth unless he's lying.
We shot a movie in 12 days, and AJ, read that quote again.
You want me to read it? Or,
No,
okay,
I'm
right
just
here.
kidding.
Okay, it's good.
It was good. See what the fucking film threat gave this movie.
10 out of 10.
But like Thomas
John
Thomas-
Cusack,
Thomas Jane doesn't end up with the money.
Jonathan Taylor
And
Thomas.
he doesn't want it.
He doesn't
But
want
he
it.
got
no.
his
His race car.
manhood back. He got his penis back essentially. Because his
that
wife
felt
took it
unearned.
from him,
Yeah,
his wife took it from him,
Penis.
and now he's got it back.
It should have ended where he's that race car shows up and the wife's like, I'm gonna let you drive, blah blah blah. And then like on the side, the sponsored tag is like a picture of John Cusack vaping, like he paid for it, like something, or maybe
I
a
thought
post
something
credit
like
with
that
him
happened,
dropping off a
right?
check or something. Like
I think he got some money from Cusack. There had to have been, right?
it would have been a better movie.
Would have
Yeah.
made sense, yeah. And like then the next scene is he like starts his racing school that he wanted to start or something.
Right.
Oh, you know, that would have been the credits start, credits come
Yeah.
back. He's opened a racing school. Okay, you're
That's
930s
what I
out there, and it's
thought.
John Cusack in the passenger seat.
Exactly.
Oh, we're gonna learn how to drive.
There
That's
you go.
what I-
Movie
And then
starts.
boom. Right.
Maybe that happened, but nobody watched the credits. Sorry, Lindsay.
I did.
It's okay. It's stupid anyway.
No, go say
Let's hear it.
Say
Come on.
Now you have to.
At the beginning, that's what I thought his job was. When he said driving school and he used to be a race car driver, I thought he had a school teaching people how to be a race car drivers.
Control and stuff, yeah.
So I was very confused when he came out and it was like a little like Kia Metro hatchback that he was driving around. I was like, what the fuck?
Keep the cost down.
And they say he borrowed money for this business, right? Like,
yeah.
What money does this business cost? Did he even did he need a physical location? Like a car.
He has an employee.
You just drive to them when they want to learn.
That's
like
all you need.
I mean,
he didn't even have one of those driving cars. Like, it didn't have the secondary wheel and brake and stuff. It was just a car.
Isn't that a kind of a requirement to do that?
I believe it is.
I mean, I wouldn't want to be in a passenger seat with no control over.
At one point, he's on the wrong side of the fucking road. Like, clearly, there are issues being made here. When he says, "Give me the fucking keys," that second time, does the extra drop thing, and it goes, and then locks the door, but the windows are open. That made me laugh.
That was great. It was just
else?
a string of like red flags, and Thomas Jane was just going along with it. That's the weird thing.
Oh, I'm sure he got paid.
Yeah.
Like,
strange movie.
You could give me a lot less, and I'd be like, "Let's do this."
Oh man, I do this for free. It looks like fun as shit to make.
What if I ask you to pay me?
Drive Hard. That's a weird name.
The dumb name.
Yeah, that's because they're all taken. So you're.
Oh, it translates. It's Australian. See, that means drive hard there.
Drive hard?
It was lost in translation.
All right. Anything else, guys?
I'm excited to see what the game's gonna be tonight.
There's no game.
Fucking
Rebecca's
game.
not here.
You fuck.
We could have did this was the perfect opportunity to fart a car.
Like,
damn it, Chris.
No damn, Chris. I did like
Australian?
3 different versions of Farter Car. I've exhausted.
If you still
Farter
have an
Car.
old one, we could probably.
That's all right. That's all right.
Forgot what they sounded like.
I do not have a. I did not save the files from Farter Car.
Save
Really? It's
Farter
not just
Car?
on a desktop
Of course
folder?
not. I don't even remember what episode that was in.
That doesn't get backed up in a vault somewhere.
Yeah, that's
That's
pure
like a
gold.
flash drive,
Here's. I don't archive or save anything, so once it gets deleted, it's gone forever.
Crazy.
Okay.
That's
Crazy.
sad.
Yeah, I got so much
Archive
stuff.
everything, dude.
And the
I got
other
all
one-
original
what was the
episodes
other
and
one?
Right now, I'm rolling the.
What's his name? Or Chicken? Or
SoundCloud told me that my payment didn't process right, so they might delete all my songs that are like 20 years worth
you
of songs.
still haven't archived that after 4 years ago when they said they're shutting
So
down
lazy.
It costs $50 and they save it forever.
Nah,
until they go out of business.
it's not worth it.
What do you mean?
You have like 1,000 songs on there.
I have like 300.
The secret is take all 300,
That's awesome.
upload all of them into one new release, and then just back that release up for $50.
I
And
guess
it's
I could
all
do
there
that.
forever.
Dude, I will give you $50. I don't want you to lose all your
No,
music.
it's like $130 a year.
I don't
for
care.
SoundCloud.
No, if you do the forever, even if your account goes away, it stays.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you don't keep a copy of it on your computer or like
No.
your backups?
So
You don't
fun.
back up anything?
What are you, an
No.
animal?
No, I don't
It's
back
an
up
Chris,
animal.
anything.
It's an
I will
animal.
back it up for you. Like I want to
Dude,
keep
I have
that
like
stuff.
30.
I only
hard
have
drives
two.
next to
It's
me.
only 236 songs. I
Only
can,
200.
I can write those again in a weekend.
Dude, just pick up like just get one of those like 18 terabyte drives and just start.
No,
backing
I
shit
spent
up.
hours of you yelling at me recording guitar parts for some of those songs.
Yeah,
So
I'm
I
trying
don't
to
wanna
get
hear
you.
this-
I'm trying to get you to do them again, but you won't.
Well, the last time was a little traumatizing. Do it again! Like, Jesus.
Oh, break your arm.
Not so
ex-
shitty this
That's
time.
not what happened at all. But
Yeah,
what?
that's pretty much what happened.
Chicken or Axl Rose. That was a good one too.
That was a good
What
one.
do we have tonight? Do we have
That
feedback?
was
then, or,
great.
like-
Yes.
Well, before we move on to listener feedback, AJ, would you recommend Drive Hard?
I will say it's kind of like an oddity. I don't know if I've seen anything quite like this. If you like John Cusack, do people like John Cusack?
Are you a high fidelity fan?
It's gonna make you hate
Yeah.
John Cusack.
I don't know if I'm going to recommend this. I don't think so.
I don't know if people like John Cusack.
I like him in some things. Like he's a good fit for certain things. Frozen
Did he have a
Ground, him and
scandal?
Cage. That's good.
Kind of weird now. He might have had a scandal.
Yeah.
What made him drop off after his like resurgence in like the early like almost 2000 aughts? Like
I think the Edgar Allan Poe movie, maybe.
Oh, we should watch
Yeah, I
that.
think-
I never
I think
saw
he has
that.
I actually kind of like that.
Edgar
People,
Allan Poe movie?
yeah,
Like
he plays-
Identity,
he has
1408,
Poe.
he was
plays
like coming
Poe.
back, and then he just
Identity
stopped.
in 1408.
I thought he was a good fit for
2012.
Oh,
Poe.
Hot Tub Time Machine. He had some stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he's
was
some
good
good
in that, too.
stuff. He has
Like
some
after
moments.
his original pop. I mean,
He's in
like,
Hot
like, I
Tub
don't know
Time
why he dropped
Machine.
back off.
Yeah.
He's been in some like small like detective role movies that are pretty solid. Like he has some okay movies here and there.
I
He
like
does
him.
some good dramas.
Yeah.
too.
It looked like he was doing great. He did Hot Tub Time Machine, and then he did Drive Hard. No, I'm just kidding.
Because he was on vacation.
He
from
did Hot Tub Time
Machine.
Machine, and then he did that Raven movie. It might have been the Raven
But
movie.
before
Yeah.
that, didn't he just come off of doing 1408 and a little bit before that he did
Yeah, he's done some stuff.
Identity was
Dope.
what 2009
Identity
or
was
something.
yeah,
Identity
that
was
was a
great.
great movie.
Yeah,
He had
great
a
ensemble.
resurgence that was pretty strong, and I thought that like I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
cool, he's back. And that's what made me think like, did he like touch a child or
No.
have a rape allegation?
Jesus
Like
Christ.
something happened.
Did he
I
get
felt
Me
that like
Too? Did he get
that
Me
that was
Too?
my thought.
I mean,
like, did he just get
It's
did he get dropped?
possible.
Or
There
did he
are
have
quite a
weird
few.
political things? Or, like, did he do
Who
something?
knows? Let's hope not. I
Was
don't
he
think so.
anti-vax?
He was actually in Hershey. He did like a thing here. Like
Was it a child?
No, he was like speaking or something. But you could pay to like come see him talk or something.
Fuck's sake, man.
Was it a child?
Jesus Christ. Let's
In the
move
movie,
on.
when the guy's like,
Let's move
"Fuck
on.
your kids," that made me laugh too. I got kids. Fuck your kids.
Yeah, I don't know what that whole scene was. That felt improv. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah, they died anyway. Fuck them.
All right. Yeah, I do want to watch The Raven, though. I've never
was-
seen
Yeah,
that.
it's not
He
bad.
should
Watch
be
that.
in John
Yeah, The Raven
Malkovich.
gets-
He's been in some incredible.
Yeah.
Raven gets a lot of shit, but it's a great. They do a great job at the period, like the sets and stuff. And I think it's way better than people. It's just like it's a fabricated story. It's not really accurate to anything about Edgar Allan Poe. He just plays Poe in the movie. So I think
All right. Aaron, would you recommend it?
I think I would. I mean, it is pretty rough at times. I think this could have been better, but I did kind of. I started to like the shitty characters, and I liked the shitty humor, and I thought they were starting to head somewhere. So I think if they had like reshot this, having build it up that I don't know, that relationship where they could play off of each other better, it'd be a better movie. But it was entertaining to me. I wasn't bored with this at all, and I love like the grandma fight scene and the guy shooting himself with the shotgun. It's just there's a lot of stupid things mixed in here that are pretty fun.
Lindsay.
There's not enough in here to recommend it. There's a few fun scenes in this, but it's
Mhm.
not enough to recommend it. It's pretty shitty.
AJ.
you already did me.
Oh, sorry. Stefan. I don't know why I said AJ.
I will give this like a recommend with caveats. Like I think
Yeah.
it's like fun enough for like I'm not paying attention kind of a movie
Uh-huh.
because there's
Yeah,
nothing
yeah.
there that needs you to follow anything. So if you're like an artist and you're painting, or you're like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I gotta do some homework, but I need some noise,
Background
or I
noise,
want to
yeah.
sleep, but I don't want to get sucked into a story. Just put
Yep.
this fucking shit on, and it's fine. It's passable. You'll fade out to some blissful John Cusack and Thomas Jane rants.
Hey,
Thumbs up.
Hey, Stefan.
Mm.
Shut up, you little bitch.
Fuck your kids.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I mean, you can definitely do worse. It's a weird movie. If you like John Cusack and Thomas Jane, then there you go.
Chris, you got the names right.
Yeah,
Nice.
exactly.
It only took the whole review.
Only took the whole review. No game tonight because Rebecca's out and I did not make fart or car, so everybody can suck
No
it.
tumor or tomato or anything like that.
Tumor or tomato is not a game, but
Damn it.
maybe at some point. But we do have some listener feedback, so
Yes.
let's move on and do that. Here we go.
Read some listener feedback, sir.
Make it so, number one.
Emails. You tiny little emails. You precious little emails. Where are you?
Oh no.
He's-
Thanks for that idea there,
That's great.
Stefan, in the private chat. I will not read that aloud. It's a family show, so
It would just be zoom-ins on the head.
That's great.
Oh, you son of a
I
bitch.
do not want to make that game. Anyways, we have a little bit of listener feedback. Cindy Lou Who says, y'all should do silver, and this is in response to last week's episode, which was on the Sin Turn.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, great movie.
Y'all should do Silver Bullet or Repo the Genetic Opera.
Those would be
Gen Turn, LOL.
Those are both great.
Oh wow.
Wait, which one? Repo with like
The genetic
Musical.
Forrest
the one-
Whitaker and
No,
the other one. Yeah. Yeah.
What? The Darren Lynn Bousman musical, Repo the
With,
Genetic
yeah.
Opera.
All right.
Yeah.
Anthony
Alright.
Stewart Head.
I've never seen it. Silver Bullet's great. It's weird that Cindy Lou Who
Mm-hmm.
is like a new listener, I think. And, like,
Why is
the
that
last,
weird?
Last few episodes have been like
Well, it's 'cause we're diving into
because no
interesting
one's
stuff.
on the show and it's weird.
Well, you covered a couple different kind of movies too.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
She'll be like really annoyed once the full crew gets back. It's just nonstop nonsense the whole time. Anyways, David Black says, "I'm wondering if I should change my Patreon pick to a Lifetime original."
Do it.
Yes.
Yes, please, for the love of God.
Alternate title: Incest Turn, which is actually fitting for that movie. If you've seen it,
I don't know. I didn't
the
watch
Sin
it.
Turn. Mike D says, "Did you guys ever watch and do the podcast for Barbed Wire, or did I miss
Yes.
something?"
Yes, we did.
There's
And
a
did.
few that are under the live section. Like I think
Oh,
the
they
problem
got
is?
Ninja
published?
3 is the best of the best 2 is under
Shit,
there.
we got to publish those.
Wait, which ones are?
Best of the best 2. I think
When you
Ninja
guys were
3
out, I
might
think.
be, and
Yeah.
there's another one that are under the live section.
Oh, I apologize.
right.
I will.
So, yes, they exist.
Yeah,
It'll be-
I did. We did do. Oh yeah, Ninja 3. Look at that.
Yeah.
Huh, that's weird. Well, it's okay.
I mean, you could fix it.
We could, but should we?
You just
Yes.
heard
I
him
mean,
say
you're
it's
literally you
okay,
can fix
so-
it right now because you're on
I
it.
could do it right.
It's okay.
I could do it right now, but
Yeah, we could get more viewers, but
should we?
should we?
kinda-
Probably not.
I don't even see barbed wire. What happened to barbed wire?
Oh, man.
That's definitely in the audio feed. I edited that.
Yeah, it's in the audio.
How is
feed.
that not here?
I
I
don't
don't
know.
even see a
You
video.
were out, and we don't have access to anything.
It got
so we-
deleted. You guys deleted it.
No,
No.
I
Oh.
hear Chris
Access.
doesn't back up anything.
Yeah,
It's
what?
gone forever. I don't
What?
back that shit up. So,
What?
oh well. It wasn't that
Jesus
great.
Christ,
It
man.
wasn't a very good episode.
You have like
anyways.
10 years of your creative
The last
life on there,
episode.
and you're like, not backing that up. $50.
Meh.
I'll back your shit up. I got plenty of space and backups and clouds and other stuff.
Hmm.
That was it for listener feedback.
Nice.
Not a very popular episode last week, but people don't know what they're missing out when they,
They
don't
don't
watch
know.
the Sin
They
Turn.
don't know.
It's a new movie too, though. It's
Yeah.
only been out for like 2 weeks.
It'll gain some momentum. I feel strong about
Yeah,
it.
momentum's definitely building for the Sin
Yes,
Turn.
always.
Yeah.
But lots to unpack. Hold on, I got to bring up the the
Feels like you're
the
stalling
Patreon
here,
wheel.
Chris.
Well, I
Will,
have
Will,
Giselle
Will.
Bunkin on my fucking tab here.
Bring up the wheel.
You see him zone out.
We need to add
Is that the name of your?
the Warlock sequel to the wheel.
Warlock 2, The Revenge
Yeah,
of the Warlock.
that's not a bad
Oh.
idea. That's gonna
Warlock
be
the
good.
Armageddon.
That would be
That'd be
cool.
All
I
right.
was watching it just a couple days ago.
Oh, you already watched it?
I've seen it 100 times.
Oh.
That's
All right.
I've seen that one way more than the first.
What are we doing if it lands on Lays?
Oh, Barbed Wire was on Twitch.
Oh, that's right, because we lost
we
our
were
our rights.
banned.
We were
banned from
We got
YouTube.
banned from YouTube.
Because Lindsay saying things that are inappropriate.
I wasn't even on that episode.
Yeah, what would we get banned for? No, we got banned because of
For
AJ's
music or
dirty
something.
pervert video movies he made us watch. And had
Oh,
all this
that's
nudity
right.
in it and shit.
Like tons.
No,
of,
dude,
yeah.
we got banned from a movie we made like 10 years ago randomly.
Yeah, it was
straight.
Yeah.
It really
bullshit.
was from like 10
It
years
was
ago.
bullshit.
What are we doing if it lands on Lays?
Warlock 2.
I'd be down for Warlock too.
All right.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, here we go.
Wait, is everybody going to be here next week?
Yeah.
If you can find it online, I don't know.
What is this?
What is that?
Rock and Roll Nightmare?
Oh,
I don't know what
God.
that is.
Spiff's gonna love it.
Shit.
Rock and Roll Nightmare.
Oh no! When Lizzie says that, you know
We
it's going to be
float
bad.
Which
Close
was
to the
Matthew
side.
Pfeiffer's pick, who
All right.
still is a listener, so it's a valid pick.
All right, let's see it.
Oh, fucking Pfeiffer.
It'll be interesting. That's
No, this is gonna be
bastard.
great. This will be great for Spiv.
No,
'cause-
he's screwed us numerous times with stuff because he likes to watch us suffer.
Aaron's so mad.
He's like one of my favorite Patreons too
He
because
likes
he's so
to make
funny.
us suffer.
But he
Well,
loves
that's the
to
whole
make us
point.
suffer.
That's the whole point.
What do you mean? This is gonna be great, and Spiv was gonna love
We'll
it
be
no matter what.
angry.
It's got a
We'll be
half-naked
angry.
man with a guitar on it. It's like everything he dreamed.
All right, I'm back
about.
in. Let's
All right. Do you have the
His-
trailer?
The wettest of dreams.
go. Ooh.
I'm talking about Spiv.
Now that's a horror that we got to add to the wheel. The Wettest of Dreams.
Here we go. Let's see this thing.
Is that a sequel to What Dreams May Come?
Yes.
Wet dreams may come.
Oh,
Still
It's a comma.
starring Cuba Gooding Jr.
May come.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
This is a
Get this-
classic.
Oh, this looks awful.
Rehearse, lame brain.
Lame brain.
This is such a Spiv movie.
Spiv is
Is it
hard.
Vomit in the Cup? I think I've seen this.
Oh, it's gonna play this song the whole fucking movie, isn't it? Is that
Dude,
Jeff
okay,
Tate from Queensryche?
John Mickle Thor.
All right.
All right. I'm
So
intrigued.
next week we're watching Rock and Roll Nightmare, aka Spiv Hard, I think.
Yes, accurate.
Where can we watch this movie? Rock and Roll Nightmare.
Might be on
Live
YouTube.
hard.
It's available to rent on Amazon, so you might have to pay a few dollars. Otherwise, I'm sure you can probably find it on YouTube or something if you look hard enough. This should be fun.
helps when people can't find the movie.
I feel like we watched this movie before.
No, we never seen
Something
this.
like
We just watched
right?
so many movies that are like this. They blur.
That's what it is. All right. Well, we're watching Rock and Roll Nightmare next week. Also, it says it's on Plex, so whatever.
Nice.
You can be able to find it. You might have to rent it on Amazon, but look forward to that. Otherwise, Stefan, do you have anything you want to tell the listeners out there?
You can check out our reviews on Cannibal Video on YouTube, or if you want to hear my new music project, that's Just Daggers on Spotify.
Still need to check that out. It's been on my to-do list.
Now it's getting longer and longer. You got to make a whole day now.
I know you keep making more stuff, and I'm like, damn it, I got to check this out. And then you like drop another one and another. Yeah.
Well,
Every
you don't
Friday.
have to check out any of my stuff because it all got deleted.
Could pay that $50.
I mean, I pay
We
50
don't
bucks
understand
randomly
you,
on other
man.
things, but then they'll send me this like, I don't know.
You'll
I don't
spend
know
$50 on a shitty burger. You're like, I bought a burger on Saturday.
That was
sucks.
$dollars.
Had
Didn't even
gold
suck that
fleck
much.
on it.
It was
Yeah.
the worst burger I've ever had.
that burger was
Then this
very
lady
upsetting.
got in front of me at the grocery store, gave me weird looks.
She gave me the finger.
Yeah.
I drove out.
But you
I gave her
want
$50 and left. Wouldn't
Back
save my
up.
music though.
decades worth of work you've done. What? The fuck is wrong with you?
Chris feels
know.
terrible now.
I love you,
Flip
dude.
that.
I don't know what's
I
wrong
do.
with me. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this week's episode. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go to the iTunes, leave a review. That helps out the show. Otherwise, consider joining the Patreon, patreon.com/badmovienight show. You get access to the Slack. You get access to the pre-show. And you get access to all the bonus podcasts and episodes, which is like 400 additional episodes somewhere in there, I believe,
Until they
of
get deleted.
random
Yeah,
stuff.
you know.
No, Patreon backs that shit up right now. But at some point, it'll get deleted and everything will... What's the point, Aaron? At some point, I'll die and it'll all get faded away anyway, so it doesn't
Right.
matter.
Could be remembered by your movie reviews, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I privated all those. I tried to anyways, but people are still commenting. We get mean comments
find
every.
them.
I
They
get mean
find
comments every day. We got one
these are private, and I still got me comments.
Yeah,
Chris
we
is just
do.
there at night smoking cigarettes, writing to this fucking idiot.
Well,
Pretty
what was
much.
the last one said that these reviewers are insufferable, and I was like,
They think you're two
YouTube's
people.
free, and if you don't like it, you can just go away. But yeah,
YouTube's
so-
a harsh place.
very harsh.
I think the trick is to just not give a shit what other people think and just do it for fun.
Yeah, you gotta do it. You gotta be you, man.
It is a bit funny saying don't give a shit what other people think when you're making reviews about things for people to hopefully
that's-
care what you think.
A little
No,
ironic.
I think it's
a little
perfect.
ironic.
It's funny. I like it.
I have no credentials to review movies. I have no real reason to be doing this other than it's
What are
fun.
the credentials to review movies?
There are none.
I went to
because-
movie review school for 16 years. I could have been a doctor, but I said, fuck that. I'm going to talk shit online.
Goddamn right. Yes.
I mean, yeah, there's no credentials. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
It's
That's
all
why
very
none of it
subjective.
matters. Who
All
cares?
right, all right.
So, all right, that's it, guys. We will catch you here next week when we watch Rock and Roll Nightmare. Good.
Rock and roll nightmare.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Bad Movie Night Podcast.
Bad movie night.